Hello everyone, my name is Yuganthan and I'm here to discuss about my Python assignment that's about complex numbers. Let's begin with the introduction to Python classes and object-oriented programming concepts. List of topics to be covered in this presentation: definition of class, definition of object, syntax for class and its objects. Definition of a class. A class is a programming construct in object-oriented programming that defines a blueprint or template for creating objects. It encapsulates the data and method that object created from the class will possess. Class provides a way to model real-world entities and enable code organization, reusability, and modularity. Definition of an object. An object is a self-contained unit created from a class is in object-oriented programming, combining data and methods representing a specific instance with its unique state and behavior. Objects are used to model and manipulate real-world entities in a code. Syntax of a class. Syntax of a class consists of a keyword called as class, which represents class, followed by a class name. Syntax for its objects. Object name is assigned by calling the class name. Python code for adding a number of complex numbers. So here basically I have two parts of program, where in the left hand side I have the class, in the right hand side I have the main program. In the left hand side I have created a class name called as complex numbers, where I have used a constructor init and used it for initializing the variables, default variables as a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0. Here we are using the self and real, initializing it with a. Set.image is equal to b. So in the other part of the program I am using a magical method called as add. Here this magical method is basically used for adding the objects of the same class. So here I am initializing a and b, where it is adding real part and imaginary part and returning by calling the same class, and in using the constructor it is initializing it again. So here on the third part I have the str method. Using this I am giving a formatted output. In the main part I have a number list in which n numbers have been taken as input for the complex numbers. So n will be the number of complex numbers to be entered in this addition program. So in this I am going to run a for loop, which is basically going to run from 0 to n. So I'm taking real and imaginary as a variable, where I'm taking input for them as in the real as enter the real part, in the image as enter the imaginary part, and I'm calling the function using, I'm initializing the objects by using append function, and I'm calling the class and sending the entities called as real and imaginary. Here I'm creating a object for the class, another object. So it basically what it does is call this class and initialize a and b as zeros. So I'm running the loop in the number list, accessing the objects and their entries. So sum basically it is 0 and 0. So by adding by using this addition symbol, this function will be called. By calling that function, so sum, so it will be 0, and the number which will be like some example as I'll be taking for real as 1 and imaginary as 2. So num of sum, so self.real, where it will be 0 and this will be 0, so 0 0. In the other real part I'll be having this other one, so 1. So here will be 2. 0 plus 1 is equal to 1 and 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. So I'm calling this again, so it will be initialized again. So it will be 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 will be sent here, 1 and 2 will be here. So it will be again initialized 1 and 2. And basically this loops run until this num list is being completed. So I'm printing the result by print statement that sum of complex number is sum. By this calling this sum, this thing will be executed, where the calculated value of real will be shown here, and calculated value of imaginary will be shown here, and it will give a extra string that is plus and I. So let's look for the output. In the output we have like enter the number of complex numbers. So I'm taking 4. Enter the real part. First one is 1. Enter the imaginary part 2. Then again real part is 1, imaginary part is 2, real part is 3, imaginary is 4, same way 1 4. So 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 is equal to 6. So 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12. So why 12? So this is the way that code is running. So thank you for watching. This was all about this video.